It's 2016 and this is your Tycoon news for February. My name is Zhatt, and no, I'm not dead, so let's give this another shot. We have some catch up to do from the last episode, so some of what I'm going to be talking about might be old news, but we're going to cover it anyways just in case you missed anything. Top of the list, Rollercoaster Tycoon World. At E3 last year, Atari presented a development build of RCTW, and have since run a couple beta weekends which showcased and tested their new spline-based coaster editor. Originally the release date was set for December 10th, however feedback from the beta weekends led to Atari deciding to delay the game's release to early this year. The developers said the additional development time will allow them to add requested items and features such as predefined piece coaster building, additional feedback on coaster testing, and various smaller improvements. After the very first screenshots of the game were teased in 2014, critics and fans complained that the game looked worse than the graphics from Rollercoaster Tycoon 3 from 2004. Atari stated that the game was still in a pre-alpha stage and would be receiving a major overhaul when the game's engine was upgraded to Unity 5. It was later revealed that a new developer, Navizo Creations, had taken over from Area 52 Games. Area 52 Games had originally taken over from the first developer, Pipeworks Software, so Rollercoaster Tycoon World is potentially on its third iteration of the game. While some people might say this is a mismanagement of resources, I think it's great that Atari is willing to listen to the feedback from its fans and strive to make a better game in the end. Another theme park themed game that's been teasing their recent work is Planetcoaster. Their advanced tools for modular buildings, complex terrain editing, and flexible piece-by-piece track building should allow for a great range of customization across your park. Structures that you've built can be copied elsewhere at your park or even shared with friends. The game is set to be publicly released in the fourth quarter of 2016 and is currently available for pre-order. Concrete Jungle released last September, which mixes puzzle and deck building mechanics into an isometric city builder theme. The game features various characters, each with their own skill trees, more than 200 different cards, detailed isometric graphics reminiscent of early city builders, as well as excellent voice acting in the single-player campaign, which I did not expect from an independent title like this. The mechanics are fairly easy to learn, clearing rows by adding points to residential areas, but as your deck grows, so does the difficulty, putting more pressure on the player to choose the right building to fill in the gaps. Another feature included that I don't normally expect from a title like this is a versus mode, which you can work with or against 3 AI or local players. Empire TV is a unique take on a Tycoon game, and is a faithful tribute to the classic game Mad TV from 1991. The player manages a TV channel fighting 2 other similar stations for their audiences. Which content you show and when you show it has a great impact on your ratings, as each audience has a demography with their own likes and dislikes. Can't find the content you need? Hire some actors, have a writer randomly generate a script for you, and film your own movie or TV series. It's great spotting all the references to real TV and movies scattered throughout the game, and I always enjoy trying out games that work in a unique and interesting way, but I'm not sure if waiting for the elevator should ever be a core mechanic in any game. Maintain a constant supply of oxygen, food, and water for your settlers while trying to establish an outpost on a new world. These are some of the same old tropes we see in many space-themed base building games, but Planetbase accomplishes to implement these ideas fairly well. The game has a well-balanced economy and a challenging progression of complexity, unlocking better buildings and technologies as your base on a planet expands. Larger solar panels allow you to collect more energy, genetically modified plants allow for more food production, and immigrating crew allows for even faster production. Randomly generated starting locations and 3 increasingly difficult planets gives a bit of replayability, but one common complaint is that once you've understood and mastered the building of a colony, the game becomes a bit repetitive. While following the same predictable progression path of other games might take this game only so far, Planetbase does incorporate the best mechanics from these games. On top of that is the fact that the game is just a solid quality production running smoothly with no major bugs. Despite officially leaving their 2-year-long alpha and releasing the full version of the game, the Prison Architect team is still pumping out major updates for the title. Update 1 added bunk beds, which allows cells to be occupied by more than one prisoner, and escape mode has been balanced a little bit by giving guns an ammo limit. Update 2 has added the potentially controversial option for female prisons, which includes a new required facility, the nursery, as some female prisoners can arrive with babies which have their own list of needs. Update 3 adds snipers and guard towers, visitor booths, and rebuilds the user interface for the console versions of the game. I commend Mark and Chris of Intervision for taking on these difficult topics. Games can be an excellent way to allow players to gain a greater understanding of a complex situation, and possibly even change how they see the world. Anno has long been a staple of economic building games, but the 6th title in the series, Anno 2205, strays a little from that mark. Released in November, the game brings back the series' simple yet highly addictive gameplay, with the help of a new game engine which allows for larger play areas and better visuals. The graphic fidelity and detail in the game is simply stunning. Anno 2205 will have you managing a corporation across 3 biomes: a temperate area, the Arctic, and finally the moon. Your ultimate goal is to harvest helium-3 from the lunar landscape, which is used to produce fusion energy, which is used to solve the world's energy crisis. The campaign offers various maps to choose at each stage, offering up some replayability, but unfortunately this iteration of Anno lacks any sort of multiplayer or even trading with AI players. There is no way to directly attack any opponents, as all combat takes place on a separate instance game mode. If you can ignore the rampant nonsensical sci-fi, seriously, someone explain how an Arctic space elevator works, Anno 2205 might still be a great way to pass many hours of your time. Train Valley isn't really a Tycoon game as much as a puzzle-ish toy game, but I like trains, so I'm going to share this game with you. In Train Valley, players build railroads and connect neighboring stations to get their trains to destinations as quickly as possible while trying to avoid collisions. Trains are directed by flipping switches at crucial moments, optionally using pause to plan ahead. Increasing traffic necessitates the construction of even more rails, switches, and sidings so that multiple trains can run at the same time. Only the rail itself can be connected to cities, while larger infrastructure like new stations, bridges, and tunnels generate at their own predefined times. Story mode runs you through 4 regions: Europe, America, USSR, and Japan, each in a different era. 15 types of trains are featured, from early steam-powered locomotives to modern high-speed trains. Thanks for watching this episode of Tycoon News. Once again, we're going to attempt to make this a regular series, but other priorities could still delay videos, so I'm not going to promise anything other than we're going to do our best. If there's anything else you'd like to see on Tycoon News, maybe even your own game, please feel free to contact me at writezat@gmail.com or follow me on Twitter @Zhatt. Till next time, take care.